Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, some of us were discussing this morning that some of us, we don't always stay in one temple and have an opportunity to do regulated deity worship, but we like doing deity worship. So as far as an individual traveling with his own deity, maybe you can give us some advice what would be the best form of the Lord or the best procedure for an individual to travel with deities.
Who is he?
Ruchi Prabhu.
Ruchi Prabhu. What is his point?
He does traveling and preaching much. He travels much.
Yes.
And he doesn't get chance to be in the temple and see the deity. And he wants to know if he can travel and take one deity with him.
What form is it best?
What type of deity is the best? What is permitted?
Who has given the deity to him?
No, he doesn't have now.
Govardhan Shila or Gopal Murti, what is the deity?
Maharaj, he doesn't have any now. He does not have anything now, but he wants your advice as to what would be the best form of the Lord to worship while traveling.
He hasn't started it yet.
That is not necessary. Kirtan is a higher type. So, Archan is less powerful. So, if we are asked by the superior to take the service of Archan, that is all right. Otherwise, in the general case, Kirtan would be more powerful and more fruitful. To serve in Kirtan preaching department. Anyhow, the importance is there that under whose guidance I am working. That is all important. My energy will be translated into transformed into a subtle form, and it will be led to the higher quarter. By devoting my energy, I shall receive some remuneration, and that will be in terms of whom I shall obey, under whose order I am devoting my energy for this service. The quality of that man under whose order I am devoting my energy, I shall be paid in terms of that. Sadhu Anugatya. That is all important thing. All important thing. One side, that I will be relieved from my mental tendency, which is forcing me to wander in the different stages of this material world. I shall get relief from that. And the positive side, that I am, my soul will be led to what strata, what plane? The plane from which the order is coming to me. In that coin I shall be paid. His qualities will come down to help me. My raw energy will evaporate, will be diminished, will disappear, and I will find myself in the plane for whom I am working. That is all important in bhakti. Hare Krishna. Even murdering may be bhakti, and the worship of the deity may be karma or jnana. The quality depends at whose disposal I am doing the work. Hanumanji, he killed so many, but that was pure devotion. At the same time, there are so many huge money being spent to construct temple, and deity also installed into the Shastric order, and in grand way the arrangement for the worshipping, that may be karma kanda. With any object there is any living purpose underlying. So kim karmati makarmeti kavayo patra mohita. The higher scholars cannot understand what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. The object is all important, for which I am working. Attar Srimam Loka no Hanti no Nivaddhati. There is a plane. If one standing on that plane, he can crush so many Brahmanda. He does not do anything. It is possible. Revolutionary thought. Crushing so many solar systems, one may not be entangled in any activity, good or bad. Such a brain is there. The universal wave that is moving, and if I can dance in tune with that wave, I am free. No reaction will have any effect on me. In Nirguna Bhumika, that is called Nirguna. No motive, no local interest, other pleasure is there. The universal is irresistible, and bhakti proper means to adjust ourselves with the dance of that plane. That is bhakti proper. Nirguna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Lord Hare. And the local interest, provincial interest, they clash with one another. That may be very small or very small and big, that does not matter. That is saguna. Ditiyabhinivesh, bhayam ditiyabhinivesh atasya. Consideration of second interest. But in higher Vedas also, there it is apparent that local interest, personal interest, but that is not so. That is a fashion of the universal wave, Guru Maharaj. At the bottom, there is that consideration of absolute interest, not of any local. Good, very good. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
রেডিয়াল ট্রান্সমিটার আছে তো ট্রান্সমিটারে রেডিয়াল আপনি এখানে কথা বলছেন ওখানে গিয়ে ধরবে ওরা ঝামেলায় ব্যাপার
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Bhavan Prabhu is today, at least you are here today.
হ্যাঁ আজকে দুপুরবেলা আমি নন
আজকে যাবেন?
আজকে আছেন বললেন
না আমি তো মানে স্কুলে অভিমন্যুকে স্কুলে নিয়ে যাওয়া একটু ঝামেলা তো
স্কুল তো আজ বন্ধ।
হ্যাঁ আজ কালকে থেকে ভয় কালকে
কাল শিবরাত্রি বন্ধ না?
না
পরশু দিন বললেন
আমি ভাবছি সামনের মাস থেকে একবার বাস যদি ঠিক করা যেতে পারে তাহলে সুবিধা। আর তাছাড়া প্রপন্ন জীবনামৃতমের ম্যানুস্ক্রিপ্টটাও পাঠাতে হবে, এটা কলকাতায় আছে।
ছাপানো হবে কোথায়?
ছাপানো হবে মানে আমি কলকাতায় দেখতে পারি মহারাজ কথাবার্তা বলে বিভিন্ন লোকের সঙ্গে একটা ভালো প্রিন্টার দেখে করতে হবে।
ওকে যদি জুড়তে পারেন,
হ্যাঁ
বিশেষ বোসকে,
আমি তাই ভাবছি।
হ্যাঁ আপনি আরম্ভ করবেন।
ছাপার ইয়েটা একবার উনি যদি হাতে নেন তাহলে মোটামুটি মনে হয় যে ফাইনাল থেকে লয়ারের সঙ্গে কনসাল্ট করেছে আর সব কিছু ওর ছেলের নামে ট্রান্সফার করিয়ে দিয়ে দেবেন। আপনি বলেছিলেন ওকে করছে, তো সেইটা করছে।
অন্তত একটা দিয়ে দেন, একটা হাতে রাখুন ছোট ছেলের জন্য। আর যদি সম্ভব হয় তো দিয়ে আপনার নিজস্ব ভবিষ্যৎ জীবনের জন্য কিছু রেখে দেন, একটা ইয়ে করুন, ফিক্সড ডিপোজিট কিছু দিয়ে আপনার এবং আপনার অ্যাটেন্ডেন্ট একজন, এই দুজনের খরচের মতো রেখে দিয়ে আপনি দিয়েছি এই দিকে লেগে যান, এরকম বলেছিলাম।
ও বলছিল যে এই বছরের শেষে হয়তো এখানে এসে পুরোপুরিভাবে থাকতে পারবে।
বছর শেষ মানে চৈত মাস নাকি?
না, এই 82 বছর মানে 1982 ইংরেজি মাসে, ইংরেজি মাসে
সব উঠে যাচ্ছে, সে তো অনেক দিন। হ্যাঁ,
আর আরেকটা হচ্ছে মহারাজ যে এখানে তো আপনি বলেছিলেন আগে মহিলাদের একটা আশ্রম, সেটাও একটা মানে বিশেষ
আগ্রহ
করলে আমারও কিছুটা সুবিধা হয়।
সেটা একটা আলাদা ট্রাস্ট করে একটা দায়িত্ব নিলে পরে তো হয় কীভাবে কী হবে।
হ্যাঁ, সেটা বিয়ে করে
কীভাবে চলবে।
মিসেস বোসকেই ওটা দেওয়া উচিত। তিনি তো এটা করতে পারেন, মিসেস বোস।
তিনি তো যদি সাবানোর দিকে যান তো মিসেস রায় তিনি বলেছিলেন এই থেকে দায়িত্ব নেবেন নাকি মহিলার।
হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু ওনার মানে আর্থিক ক্ষমতা তো কম আছে, তার ইন্টারেস্ট আছে, সিনসিয়ারিটি প্রচুর, খুব ভালো মহিলা। কিন্তু
আর মিসেস বোস তিনি যদি ওইসব ছেলেদিকে ছেড়ে দেন সব, তখন তো এর আর্থিক পজিশনটা কী হবে
সেটাই বোঝা যাচ্ছিল।
সকল এনগেজমেন্ট পাবে।
So she feels very encouraged by
হরিচরণ কি বলছো?
আগে
তুই কি বলছিস?
কিছু বলে না,
তুমি বলছো যে এইসব প্রাইভেট বুদ্ধি যোগী তিমাংসেন, বুদ্ধি যোগী তিমাংসেন বুদ্ধা যুক্ত জয়া পার্থ কর্মবন্ধং প্রহাস্য নেহাভিক্রমণা স্বস্তি প্রত্যবায়ু ন বিদ্যতে স্বল্পমপস্য ধর্মস্য ত্রায়তি মহতু ভয়া। বুদ্ধিযোগ
গীতায় বুদ্ধিযোগটাকেই তো একবার
দারুণ
সবচেয়ে বেশি
আমার
ইম্পর্টেন্স দিয়েছেন ভক্তিবিনোদ ঠাকুর।
ভক্তিবিনোদ ঠাকুর। আর আমার মনে হয় ওই যে বঙ্কিম প্রশংসা করেছে তো, এই কেদারনাথ বাবুর এইটা একটা অরিজিনাল দান হচ্ছে আমাদের কাছে পর্যন্ত পাইনি গীতার ব্যাখ্যায়। তা আমার মনে হয় বুদ্ধি যোগেতে ওই বঙ্কিমের ওইটা খুব পছন্দ। আর ভক্তিবিনোদ ঠাকুর ওইখানেই শুদ্ধ ভক্তি, ভক্তের লক্ষণ দেখতে। যদিও ভক্তিযোগ একটা রয়েছে আলাদা, ভক্তিযোগ বলে আলাদা চারটা রয়েছে।
So what would be the difference, Maharaj, between Bhakti-yoga and Buddhi-yoga according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur?
Buddhi-yoga, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Buddhi-yoga is more spacious and accommodating. This aprakito, it will suit mostly for aprakita lila. More accommodating, more nearer to Krishna consciousness, Buddhi Yoga. Bhakti Yoga just above Jnana Yoga, what is described in 12th canto, 12th Adhyaya. But Buddhi Yoga is more precious. Externally, he may deal with anything and everything, but that has no influence on him. Buddhi Yoga. But in Bhakti Yoga, in the other Adhyaya, we find that some sort of restriction, control is applied there. Uniketa Sthiramati, Asukha Dukkha Samana, all these things are all right. But any external connection with the which may be considered to be rejectable, even in the highest position of a devotee, that can also be harmonized, everything. Doing anything he may not do. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Buddhi Yoga. Ekaiva Kuru Nandana. Whatever he is asked to done by his master, he is ready to do that, without any consideration of good or bad. Buddhi Yoga.
Maharaj, this Mahanam Broto Brahmachari, he was once interpreting, he was once giving a lecture and interpreting that to follow the instruction of the Guru.
He is a nasty man.
He's a nasty man, yes.
He came from the source of Jagabandhu. When he went to America for doctorate, I was in charge of Bombay Mott at that time. I knew him. Then he came back. I saw his doctorate. There are also defects in his writing in the name of Jiva Goswami. What he has written, there is error. Again, the acme, when he told that Mahajano Yeno Gatasva Sapantha. I heard from one of my god brother, Dr. Shamlal. So he attended one of his lectures, perhaps in Berhampur or somewhere. And he told, and I might have seen in the paper also, in explaining Mahajano Jeno Gata Sapantha. He says Mahajan, Gandhi is a Mahajan, Rabindranath is a Mahajan. Hearing that, I had rejected him and cast him in the dustbin.
That is your Kripa, Maharaj. At least he has a place in your dustbin.
তাহলে অতি স্তুতি হয় এই নিন্দার রক্ষ। And another thing I found in his writing, he was very eager to find out the name of Sri Chaitanya Dev in the writing of Rabindranath. And anyhow he mentioned a place where Rabindranath is saying to some persons that you are too much of the Varnashram fashionism, but Chaitanya also did not care for your formality. He, with very eagerness, tried to test that Rabindranath also took the name of Chaitanya. But Rabindranath took it in that hateful way. Even Chaitanya did not care for your formality. Not Sri Chaitanya, Chaitanya. Chaitanya also did not care for the formalities of Varnashram. What of mine? I don't care for you. And he was so much proud that Chaitanya is mentioned in the, came from the lips of Rabindranath, that fellow. I was told that he can deliver lecture very fluently, very impressive way. That I have heard. Long ago when I went to Jalpaiguri for preaching, the general educated public told that what you have preached here about Gaudiya Math, hitherto such কি বলেছিল হাই ক্যালিবারের প্রচার এরকম ভাবে আর হয়নি। But Mahanambada, he came and in the name of Chaitanya he delivered several lectures and the people was impressed. But Mahanambada became fluent style of his lecture, but nothing within. That Gandhi is a Mahajan, Rabindranath is a Mahajan in the line of Mahajan. Tavatcha shubhati murkho javat kinchit no bhasati. So long a fool has got a good figure, as long as he does not open his lips. So opening his lips to the scholar section, that is a difficult thing. Hare Krishna.
আজ অতিস্তুতি হয় নিন্দার লক্ষণ, ওইটার ইংরেজি বলেননি তো?
অনেকবার বলেছি আমি।
বলেছেন?
দেখুন কাজকর্ম দেখুন না, এখানে বসে
He also smokes, Maharaj. This Mahanamrata, after giving his lecture, then as soon as he goes inside, he's puffing to get back his inspiration.
And then smoking mere tobacco or ganjika. That will be more stimulating.
So one of our god brothers, he was visiting him before. So he asked him, he said, how do I see that you're smoking? He said, no, this is for private amongst you, but for public, I am against smoking.
Okay.
Such a bogus character he
Yeah.
is.
The hypocrite. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Gaur. Pro. Pro. Hare Krishna. Pro.
Maharaj,
Yes.
in Durgapur, there was one gentleman who was arguing from this Kali Santanan Upanishad. And from there he was quoting one verse where I think Lord Brahma, he is stating the Maha Mantra with Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari first, and Hare Krishna afterwards. So he said, how do you adjust this in your philosophy?
What did you say?
I told him that in the Ananta Samhita and Garuda Puran and one other Puran that the Hare Krishna mantra is given as we chant it. And that Brahma, he is Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya. So we follow his example.
Kadishantan Upanishad, it isn't such. Agni Puran and the Brahmanda Puran, half. But they say that this is because it comes from Upanishad, so this is Vedic mantra. And ordinary people may not have any entrance to Vedic mantra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just readjusted this mantra, and the Vedic mantra, the concern is cancelled thereby, and he gave it all. That is a section of people in the UP side who love Sri Chaitanya Dev. They like to give their opinion like this. But ours says that where it is mentioned Hariramo first, then that is superficial. Concerning Rama Avatara, that took place first, and the Krishna Avatara, that afterwards that occurred. So first Ram, Hare Rama, and Hare Krishna. But our deeper meaning is that in Danda, when similar two things are connected together, not the historical precedence, but the consideration of the highly developed conception. So Krishna Nam is higher than that of Rama Nama. It is mentioned in Puran, Sahasra Nama Vistulam Rama Nama Varaname. Then 3 Rama Nama is equal to Krishna Nam. In this way, it has been mentioned in Puran. So Krishna Nam is more superior to Rama Nama. So in Danda Samas, where they are connected together, the stress is given to the superiority. So Krishna Nam is to come first. This is one point. The another point is that everything is moving in a cyclic order. Which is first, which is next, that cannot be ascertained in the eternal cycle. Either Krishna is before or Ram is before. That is, so from that consideration also, Krishna, if we take Krishna Nam, that is not relating to posterity, but in the eternal cycle, any place we may begin. Then another higher thing of our Sampradayik secret is this, that our deeper meaning is not concerned with Ramulila. Even the name Ram, there we find Radharani Ram. The wholesale in Krishna consciousness, not Rama consciousness of Godhead. So, Mahaprabhu's highest conception of things, the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Leela, it is connected with that. So, the Krishna, the Ram, not historical avatar in the predecessor of Krishna, but we are concerned with independent of Kalo, only in Vrindavan Leela, Swayam Bhagavan Leela of Krishna. That is the real purpose of Mahaprabhu, for which it is not mentioning of Ramulila of Ajidha at all, no connection. Mukta Pragraha, কি?
20 টাকা।
সুবল সরকারের তার Do you follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
There was also another thing which came up, we were discussing, and that was Gautam Rishi and his wife Hotili.
Navai vidu rishayo napi deva kuto manushya. But Mahaprabhu gave the internal meaning. The rishi cannot stand there, no rishi. Navai rishi munayo, কি আছে? Navai vidu rishayo napi deva kuto manushya. No mention, human scholarship to trespass into the realm. Even the rishi do not know.
They say
they have dealt superficial theism. Superficial theism has been given by the rishi. Nasavashis Joshamatamana Bhimnam. What are the rishi? They have some substantial, some ground preparation of the ground of theism. That is supplied by the rishi in general. Vasu Vetti no Vetti va. The development of the theism. Charvaki is also rishi. Rishi means research scholar, who has given a new doctor. Rishi means doctor, who has given some original opinion into the society. He is rishi. Brahmarshi, Devarshi, Rajarshi, there are so many rishi, section of rishi. Atrir Vasishtaschavanu Saradvam Orishta Nemir Bhrigurangiraja Parasaru Gadhi Sututharama Daipayanu Bhagavan Naradasya. They are all students, and with profound silence they are hearing what novel thing is coming from the mouth of this boy. the stuck dumb, the rishis. When Sukadev began to deliver his lecture of Bhagavatam, they are all stuck dumb, the rishis. It's a new thing coming. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Gaur. Aggaviva gunam doshan maya dishtan apishyatam dharman santajya sarva. What to speak of the rishis? What God himself, he has by his own lips, he has given orders, this is your duty. And that is also being cancelled. And go, necessity of going up. Krishna himself, he has also given so many things in the name of religion, but there is gradation. Go further, go deeper. The development is there in theism. Oh, no, in many places it is mentioned. Anna padatta karana nishinishayana nana munu rasudhya khana bhavana nidra dvaiva hatatarapana rishayupi deva naitake iha samsaranti. Anna padatta karana nishinishayana nana munu rasudhya khana bhavana nidra Deva hatattaratana rishayupi deva jushnat pasanga vimukha iha samsaranti. Even those, the lords of rishis, munis, if they cannot understand your such loving service, the value, then they will have to go down. Such authority will also have to go down. So-called authorities, a high level Mahaprabhu has given. This Radha Govinda Lila combined what he has given that cannot be comparable. Not only on this Brahmanda, this history of solar system, but in the course of the history of crores of creation and dissolution, creation and dissolution. Such high thing. Theism, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Gaur. No bhuto, no bhavishyati. What Mahaprabhu has given to us. One gentleman told that Sati, Savitri, Sita, Damayanti, and so many other Draupadi, and the high models of so many ladies, they were shining like stars in the history, in the Purana of the Vedic culture here. So long, they were shining a very with great splendor. But whenever Radharani had entered the arena, they all they have become pale. All the models, the ideals, they are cast shadow, covered with shadow, more or less. When Radharani entered with her intense love for Krishna. The whole creation, even including so many Shastra, Purana, Rishi culture, everything, by her dazzling personality, everything became pale. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari. Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari. Dr. Dinesh Sen told like that. You have through the door of Brahma Vaivarta Puran, the character of Radharani entered into the Sahitya
Literature.
and into the world of literature. Then all other ideals of the highest attainment of the ladies, of the chaste ladies, all became Veda. Mahaprabhu came with that. And so it is told that Mahaprabhu, Krishna and Radharani combined, Anatpita charing chirat korunayavati. Not ever been given to the world. In the cyclic order of the creation dissolution, that was never be given to the world. What Mahaprabhu has given. Dhanna Kali, this fortunate Kali Yuga. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Die to live. The death has also got its degree. The degree of death, the intensity of the degree of death, what Radharani showed for Krishna, no parallel ever conceived in the world. Self-giving, self-offering, so intense self-surrendering is never to be thought of even by the scholars of the world, of the devotees. It is impossible. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari, Gaur Hari, Gaur. And accordingly, all the groups of Krishna, the Sakhas, the Sarvitas, the Vatsalas, fathers, mothers, all the highest degree of sacrifice and the surrender to be found only in Krishna Lila, Swayam Bhagavan in Vrindavan. Otherwise, the greatest devotee, Buddha, it is coming from his own mouth of Krishna. The Brahma, the Shiva, the Sankarsana, Lokhi, and myself even, is not so superior as my favorite Uddhava. I consider him to be more favorite than my own body, Krishna says. And that Uddhava says, I want to be a creeper, a shrub in Vrindavan, that I may have the chance of the touch of the feet dust of these damsels of Braja. What is this? Can we think it out? It is impossible for us to think out what high degree of devotion and sacrifice can be present there. And this cannot be denied. I put it to a Madrasi Pandit, and he could not say anything in opposition. Pandit Bhagavat, and the whole Bhagavat in his mouth. He does not care to take any book. Whole Bhagavat is in his memory. That Pandit I met in Mambalam. But when I put this proof, he could not speak anything. So many appreciators, barristers, advocates, judges, followers, could not speak a single word. quite positive, proof positive. Krishna himself says, Buddha, you are such a favorite devotee of mine. None is so. And that Uddhav says like this. And how to measure? By light year, when we have to measure the distance of the stars who are very far off, by light year. So here also light year, Brahma, Shiva, Sankarshan, Lakshmi, himself, Uddhav, and thereafter. The light year measurement. Gaur Hari Bol, 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 Gaur Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol.
Maharaj, you described the Chaturvyuha before.
Chaturvyuha.
Yes.
Chaturvyuha and the Chatushan is not one and same.
No, I'm sorry. So, Pradumna and Aniruddha and Shankarshan and Vasudeva.
Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha.
So, in the material world,
Mool Chaturvyuha, Adi Chaturvyuha, and their extension. Mool Sankarshan in Dwaraka. Mool Adi Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha in Vaikuntha and Adi Chaturvyuha in Dwaraka. This Karunarnavasai, Garbhodasai, their extension. Now,
so with the extensions.
Extension,
So
the
what?
delegation, what you may say, the particular type of function. They have got their particular type of function. And that sort of function, wherever is present, we have to trace the origin in that line.
So what part does Durga Devi play in the function of the mind, buddhi, and these padarthas?
Mind, body, and?
The Karnadakshay Vishnu is an expansion of Shankarshan.
Karunarnavasai, he has to deal with the whole of Prakriti. And the Garbhodasai, a particular part of Brahmanda, the whole dealt by just as DM and SDO, and the commissioner and the Rajyapal in this way. So above the whole of the Prakriti movement, there is Karunarnavasai. And at every Brahmanda, there is Garbhodasai. And every soul within, there is Kirodasai.
Pradumna and Aniruddha, their expansions are Garbhodakshay and Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Their expansions...
Aniruddha Kshirodasai, and Pradumna Garbhodasai, and Sankarshan Karodasai, Karunarnavasai, and Vasudeva above all. Vasudeva is higher. He is above, transcendental of the whole of Brahma conception. This Brahma Karnarnavasai is also above the Brahma conception. But Brahma has direct concern with him, Tallinga Bhagavan Shambhu. That from Karnarnavasai, the ray is coming to touch Prakriti, this energy, and that is Shiva. And the Karnarnavasai at the background, and the transcending all the relativity of the mic world, of the material world, there stands Vasudeva, Parabrahma, Purushottam, Kharadupitoham, Okharadupitottama. He has got no concern with this material transaction, the Vasudeva. And the Sankarshan, the first step down to connect with material conception as a whole, and the partial management by the Garbhodasai, and the individual case of Deva is taken by the Khirodasai, Antarjami, Paramatma. In this way, their function can be, they are all one and the same, but according to their function we have to trace them in different way. ঈশ্বর তত্ত্বের হিদমান মানিলে হয় অপরাধ. The one power of government represented in so many figures, something.
Maharaj,
Yes.
the question is, what function does Durga Devi play
Durga Devi.
with these three, with Pradumna, Aniruddha, and Shankarshan, in this as expansions? What is her dealings?
Well, is the negative side. The negative side, that is in a representative government, in a democratic government, the parliament and also the king's side or Rashtrapati, something like that. Durga Devi, she is direct, her direct concern with this world of punishment, misguided soul, to train them the punishment. And there also the representation from above has been sent here to detect how the function is going on from the government above. Their representation has been put in the administration of Durga Devi to check how far it is going on in a system or whimsically, something like that. The representation of the above, and Durga Devi in general charge of the administration of punishment for the misguided souls. He is the empirical representative, and that is coming down from above to help the jiva, that they may not be mishandled. Something like that.
What is the difference between Subhadra Devi and Durga Devi?
What
The
is it?
difference between Subhadra Devi and Durga Devi.
Subhadra Devi and Durga Devi. What is the reason of your asking this question? Where do you find any common between them?
Because
Subhadra Devi, she represents the Leela of Krishna. He is there. He is in Dwaraka. she has got no administrative function. Where is the room of misconception between the two?
Because Vishnu, when Vishnu told Yoga Maya to descend,
Who is Yogamaya? Subhadra.
Subhadra,
Subhadra is not Yogamaya. A part may be played very hard, a function of Yogamaya. Subhadra has got no mundane function. She is there with Dwaraka Leela of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Gaur.
So Maharaj,
Yes,
from Krishna, there's so many expansions are coming, like Chaturvyuha.
yes.
So from Radharani, could you explain how Durga Devi is a further expansion?
Durga Devi, this Yogamaya, Durga Devi is concerned with Yogamaya. And Yogamaya may be considered to be the comprehensive potency under Baladeva, who was entrusted with the charge of management and the arrangement to facilitate Krishna Leela there in Vrindavan. And the Durga Devi may be considered as Yogamaya's representation in this perverted world. And Bhuvanani Durga, Chayeva Yasya Ki Vibhakti Bhuvanani Durga. She is in charge of this mundane world for management, for administration. And the hard extension in the positive world is Yogamaya. Yogamaya there in the transcendental world, she is making management necessary, and her facsimile, shadow, cast here in this mundane world. And here Durga Devi is in charge of management, something like that. So Durga Devi says, I am there in Chandi, I am Radha in Vrindavan. She is proud to trust that we are potency, and the potency should not be neglected by the person. We have got our extension up to Vrindavan, and there my class is represented even in the position of Radharani, the most favorite position in Vrindavan she holds. And she also belongs to my section, that is potency, the negative side. The negative side is extended up to the highest quarter You should not ignore us. She is boasting like that. Angangi bhavamaggyanta katham samarthaneta pasya tittiva matrena samudru vyakulikata. There is a saying in like Aesop's fable, this Indian Aesop's fable, this Panchatantra, that one small bird, like the sparrow, she put some egg in the banks of the ocean, and the ocean's waves washed it away. Then the parrot told, "Oh, you neglect me so much. I shall look after you. I shall see to punish you." And the ocean laughed away. But she sent deputation to the higher bird, and from there to another higher, and from there it went to Guru, the bird section. Guru was the highest, holds the highest position of the whole bird kingdom. So when it reached, Guru came to touch the ocean. I shall drink you off. Why you have taken away the eggs of that sparrow? You beg forgiveness to her, or otherwise I shall drink you fully. Then Samudra, the ocean, came to beg forgiveness to the sparrow. So Angangi bhavamakyanta katham samat. So Durga Devi here making boast that you don't neglect me, that I am Maya here. But my concern is there also, in the highest position. We are negative side. I am represented there, in the highest favorite domain of Krishna. There I am Radha. Here I am favorite to Mahadev, and in my inner self there is, now we hold the highest position there. That's something like that. When we are told in the Shastra such sort of statement, we have to harmonize in this way. That the negativity as whole, the potency as whole, differentiated from that of the predominating mighty and the predominated mighty. Shakti, Shaktiman. From effect to cause, and the cause to effect. We shall have to understand the point of adjustment. A religion is proper adjustment, a favorite word, expression of our Guru Maharaj. A religion in his last days, often he uttered this. Religion is proper adjustment. Sambandhagya. And that you automatically engage yourself in your duty. The Sambandhagyan, fully awake of your position in the universe. If you are fully awake, you cannot but discharge your own duty. Sambandhagyan. And if you can perfectly discharge your duty, the end, the uddesha, the consequence cannot but be in your fist. The prayojan tattva cannot but come you, will welcome you. A proper adjustment. Our real position, what is my real, ke ami kano more jarata? Who am I? Who am I? Only flesh and blood. or only the mental system which I have got experience at the time of my dream, or as in told in Upanishad and the Veda, in Gita, Indriyan parindriyebhya parang mano manasastu para buddhi, buddhi atma mahan para, then Paramatma and the other subjective world. How to find the adjustment? What am I? I am a member of this material soil or something more. Transcending this material consideration, I have got my existence in the unassailable higher quarter of knowledge and love. The strata of knowledge and then that of love. Transcending knowledge, there is another higher plane of ecstasy, joy, and love, prema, this thing. Exploitation, renunciation, and dedication of the highest order, the surrender dedication. Where do you want to live? These are extended to us for our preference. You select where do you want to live and what plane. And this is not poetry or not even philosophy. That's inner demand, sincere willingness, determined will. That's why, not a fashion or philosophy or luxury. Serious point. We have to decide for ourselves. Where do we want to live in what plane of life? The plane of a gunda, the plane of the patriot, so many planes of the scientific, the wire puller of this exploitationist. What plane I must seek, and I must find out my life sincerely. Where do I select to be my home? Back to God, back to home. Where is my home? Self-determination. The problem of self-determination in our front. And we have to just sincerely to do justice to our own self. Not a luxurious attempt of putting others to their higher interest. First, I am concerned where I am to seek my position sincerely. Then the next question will be that I shall try others also to put in that position. Janma sarthak kori parupakar. Only hypocritically preaching, that has got no higher benefit. But if under the guidance of a real guide, I begin my work, my hypocrisy also may vanish. That may be connected by my previous sukriti, independent of my voluntary thinking. It is possible. The sukriti has connected me with some higher guide, and gradually the hypocrisy, self-suiciding tendency, that will vanish. Hypocrisy, that kapurata ki?
Capriciousness. Capriciousness. Capriciousness.
Capriciousness, kapurata.
Deceitful. Self-deception.
Self-deception tendency. Kapurata, hypocrisy. That will vanish. So Sukriti may join me, my fate with a real guide. And all other defects will gradually vanish when I am in the process of purification by carrying out his order. It is possible. And as much as I will be sincere, my words will carry so much value and the others will be benefited by my words, my vibration will work in them. So it has been requested repeatedly in the Shastra, the sadhu sangha, select your association, select your guide. The association in general and the guide in particular, that is all important in our life. We are living in uncertain eternity, and we secure a certain position. We must strive hard. And the association and the guide, that can help us most in our campaign. We are lost in the eternity. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Any of you are expected to go to Mayapur?
There's one couple of boys from Mayapur here.
Is there anyone?
There's this boy. He's staying in Mayapur. Maharaj, is anyone going to Mayapur?
Through him I want to give some news to the committee.
Chaitanya Chandra's going.
Chaitanya Chandra is going.
Chaitanya Chandra, who is he?
Disciple of Deity Maharaj. Chaitanya Chandra, disciple of Deity Maharaj.
Disciple of Deity Maharaj. Little representative. Two things what? One about the homage. I want to request them to omit what is mentioned in the writings of Swami Maharaj attacking his god brothers on the basis of his last words. That is one of my requests to them. It would be better for them on that basis. Henceforth, the publication that will be issued, that their names should be suppressed. Otherwise, there is possibility, as Jyoti Maharaj has done. And the Rupa Vilas, that the president, he has become president of the Bhagavad Math. Bhagavad Maharaj, yes. He has sent something that attacking this Gaudiya Math, mentioning their names, so many things are out. They will also come with their attacking spirit, and that won't be very pleasing. Not pleasing, a controversy. And there are men who will be up to get something testful against Swami Maharaj. There are no want of such men who want to make down the glorious head of ISKCON. So, if they will come with their weapons and the fighting, that is undesirable. So on the basis of his last word, that may be omitted. I want to, and there, I will be free from my responsibility. If they do not care to discuss, their meeting will take place. I want to put it seriously to them. It is advisable, you do this. And there is the basis of his last word. You can do it. And if you don't do, then the atmosphere may be worse. And because I have got some affection for Swami Maharaj's institution, I cannot but warn you with this request. And there is time. One is out, the another will also be out. And it will spread. And the people, though they are not in favor of ISKCON, they will dance. Take this opportunity and they will try to make the position down of ISKCON. This may be represented to them. Then they can do anything and everything. I will have no... who is the man who can represent this to them properly? Our Bharati Maharaj.
I could go and speak with Bhavananda. I could go and speak with Bhavananda.
Yes, you go, and he is told he was sent by me, and these things. Jyoti has already begun, and the Bhagavat Maharaj Bhagavata, he will also begin. And that may not be indulgent. They may take this step, though our Guru Maharaj didn't know what to do, and there is the last word that I did for some purpose, and now I retire from that. He had told, from on that basis, they can take up this. This is to point out to the meeting before otherwise the meeting will finish, then they cannot be able to take such a drastic measure individually. So before meeting, this must be represented to them. This is one thing, and in my name also.
Some noise.
That woodman, carpenter.
That was one thing.
That was one point.
What is that?
That was one thing. You said a few things.
Two things.
Yeah.
Another thing came from the background, perhaps this Rameshwar Maharaj question, maybe. Or I forget. This is one, and another. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Maharaj,
Yes.
the suggestion is that it will be better if we have a written, in a written form we can so that they can present it to the GBC board.
But I have said, now we put it in.
Transcribe.
Yes.
And Bharati Maharaj can deliver.
Okay. I'll take it to Radharani.
It
Put
can be
in a-
typed out
I can do
and
You compose a letter, and then you
get your
show
approval,
me,
and then maybe take it.
and then send to him. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. The coming trouble may be quenched. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol.
একটাই point, Maharaj.
Only 1 point.
Only 1 point. He was saying over 2 points.
That I don't venture to mention.
Maybe later on.
Later. That is concerning Rameshwar Maharaj.
Yes.
To speak plainly, that will be something like audacity on my part. To cross. কি বলে অনধিকার চর্চা কি বলে
Unauthorized, unbona fide criticism.
undue privilege, undue Hare Krishna.
You say that this area is the Aparadha Bhunjan.
Aparadha Bhanjan.
Bhanjan.
Yes, Aparadha Bhanjan. All sorts of difficult offences were pardoned here by Mahaprabhu. This is the place. Aparadha Bhanjan. Mahaprabhu was so liberal. His magnanimous, still the acme of his magnanimity was shown in this place. Kuliya Prakashe Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Heno nahi jane tiho nahi koi dhamma. Whatever prayer came to him, while he came back from sannyas to here, and all petitions were granted. All sort of prayers were granted, and extensive pardon, the wholesale pardoning place. Kuliya Prakashe Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Heno nahi jane tiho nahi koi dhamma. Everyone got his aspiration fulfilled. Yeah. None went empty-handed. Gaur Hari. Anyhow, I passed here 40 years by answer this case. And I came with permission from Nityananda Prabhu, from that Ekachakra. I took my permission of Nityananda from there. You are the master of Guru Mandal. I come to take your permission. I want to have my cottage there and to pass the last days of my life there. You please grant it. And almost I have finished my career. Aparadha Bhanjan.
And that is still going on.
Of course, it cannot but be.
Yes.
The very nature of the soil demands that, attracts the aparadhis.
and we feel, Maharaj.
The fortunate, attracts the fortunate.
Yes.
And that is the pardon, the forgiveness is sure. So only the fortunates are attracted here. For the sure, and if aparadh gone, then he will have everything.
Yes.
Go.
So, because now...
So we may inform that to GBC also. All the offenders are gathered here, and in no time our offences will be pardoned. And our fulfillment we got. We are sure to get our fulfillment. Go, very good. Go, very bold, go, very bold, go, very bold.
That's what I was hoping for.
Go, very. Yes, all hoping, all students. All of us are students. Students also consult and help each other. Our Guru Maharaj told in Madras, in his address, in his writing, the monitor. He considered himself to be the monitor or something, monitor of the class. The leading student of the class.
Yes.
He posed himself like that. I am the monitor. I am also student, but I am monitor. In his Madras writing, it was published in Harmonist Bharat and pamphlets issued there in Madras. I am monitor. Nidai Gaur Hari Bol, 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 Nidai Gaur Hari Bol. He told I am a monitor, but I did not relish that idea.
Who told Maharaj?
Bhakti-siddhanta.
Oh, told that you are a monitor.
No,
he himself. Oh,
he himself.
Yes.
He told that I am a monitor.
So we also do not relish Maharaj when you include yourself as a student.
That is, still he is a student. It was difficult for me to take it. I did not take it. But he posed himself like that. Then still I have to know. To do. It's dynamic. The progress is always a dynamic. Everything, it is a dynamic in character. Hare Krishna, progressive. Leela, Nabadwip. The conception of infinite is not a stagnant one, but a dynamic infinite. Infinite, it is dynamic. That is very difficult to have a conception of infinite, of course, purely difficult. A dynamic infinite. Infinite, the conception of it is infinite, not a static, but it is dynamic. That's 930. Guru is the Leela. And Leela means Nabadwip, ever new. Ever new. That is also a characteristic of infinity. we have to have some direction. Lilama. And it is not that it is in want and you have to have fulfillment. Not that. But it is nature. Lila. That is called Lila. The very nature existent with the eternal, with the eternity, with the eternal conception of infinite. It is Lila, Lila. Always satisfying himself. The movement is always a pleasing, moving thing. The pleasure itself is a moving characteristic. The ecstasy itself is a moving characteristic. The Lila. No one to fulfill, to be fulfilled. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nijai Gaur Hari Bol, Nijai Gaur Hari Bol. Nijai Gaur Hari Bol, Nijai Gaur Hari Bol. Nijai Gaur Hari Bol. আমি বাউলে কয় কহিদেবা কেবা পাতিয়ায় কহিবার কথা নয় তথাপি বাউলে কয় কহিদেবা কেবা পাতিয়ায়, not to be discussed. Still, one cannot but talk about it like a madman. And if he go on talking, who will come to believe in it? None will lose their time to listen to the madman's delirium. In another place. I am a madman talking in delirium, and you are also a madman of the same type. So you have come to listen to this delirious statement. আমি এক বাতুল, তুমি দ্বিতীয় বাতুল, অতএব তোমায় আমায় হইছু। We are of the same section. Same section. I am also mad, you are also mad. So we feel enjoyment in such a mad talk. Ramananda Raya, Mahaprabhu. আমি এক বাতুল, তুমি দ্বিতীয় বাতুল। দানিয়া সর্বভূতানাং তস্যাং জাগত্যি সংযমী যস্যাং জাগ্রতি ভূতানি সা নিশা পশ্যতু। মহাপ্রভু গৌর হরি, গৌর হরি, গৌর হরি, গৌর হরি। Nijai Gaur Hari Bol, Nijai Gaur Hari Bol. Nijai Gaur Hari Bol, Nijai Gaur Hari Bol. Nijai Gaur Hari Bol. Mahaprabhu, 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 Gauranga Sundar, Gauranga Sundar. Gauranga Sundar Vara Nityan Niyat Nam Bhi. Gauranga Nagarvara is dancing, which is taking his own name and dancing. Niyat Namabhi. Uttering different sounds, receiving some impression from them and dancing himself. Getting impression from the sound of his own name and dancing. marriage. Petitio principii, otherwise, the cause is the effect in a circle.
Cyclic.
Petitio principii, what is this?
The Latin expression, does anybody know? Petitio
In logic,
Petitio bio?
petitio principii.
This is the circle?
The circular movement. That Napoleonic chair.
Yes. Napoleon.
Hare Krishna. Nittam Niket Namabhi, his own name is the cause of his own dancing. The suggestions from different names are coming, and that impression creating some energy, and that energy is making him dance. Ecstatic energy. The dynamo is creating ecstatic energy, and that is the cause of his dancing. Taking his own name, his dancing. The Leela. Nittam Nijaj Namo Hi. Such is Gaura. That moving anandam, moving ecstasy. In my Pramodhama Stotra,
Yes,
I put that he is the ultimate reality, absolute. Why? The two things represented in him. One, dancing in ecstatic joy feeling within him. And chanting, distributing that to the others. Finding himself in ecstatic joy, ecstatic, and distributing it to others. This is Kaura. And the highest principle of ecstatic energy is such. Cannot be but such. He is of a dancing mood, he fulfilled in himself. The dancing explains that the inner propensity is of ecstatic joy, dancing. And the kirtan means that is distribution to the public, to the environment. That is assertive. The ecstatic joy is assertive. Self-assertion, self-distributing ecstatic joy. That we find in Gauranga. So Gauranga is the highest entity. In that way, I have dealt it there. The Satchidananda, when ecstatic joy, he is dancing, and the Kirtanam, that is trying to distribute it to the others. Atmavandhanam is offering himself to the environment, distributing himself. Leela. Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemavadibbachavi Sundaraya Tasmi Mahaprema Rasapalaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. That is his dance. Perhaps from Prabodhananda Saraswati, the Guru of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. This beautiful stanza coming in praise of Sri Chaitanya. Ananda Leela Rasa Vigrahaya. Ananda Leela Rasa. And the ecstatic pastimes, Rasa is personified. Hemabhu Dibbachari Sundara. And the golden beauty, the ecstatic beauty emitting golden luster. Very beautiful figure. Hemabhu Dibbachari Sundara, the divine figure. Mahaprema Rasapadaya, and he is distributing this great divine love, distributing by his movements and the words and every gesture, posture, a distribution of divine love. Mahaprema Rasapadaya, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. I bow down my head to such Sri Chaitanya Deva, who is so and so. In Archan Khan, this has been taken up at Dhyan. When we meditate Mahaprabhu, we should do in this way.
Sometimes we've heard we hear of Guru Gauranga, this expression, and also in
Guru Gauranga, Gandharva Giridhari. That is the name given by Guru Maharaj and the Mayapur deities. The Guru is there, the guide, and the Gauranga. Guru is the potency guide, and the Gauranga, the Lord himself as Guru, and the Guru Gauranga, Gandharva, and the which can draw the best, maximum rasa, Gandharva, and Govinda Sundar, that is the source of everything. Around whom the whole is existing and playing, and he is the first morning. The source of all rasa, and the concern and the gist of the whole campaign, the holder, the support, of the infinite existence. That is rasa. Ecstatic aspect and the drawing of that ecstasy aspect, maximum, and both combined distributing themselves, Gauranga, and who has come to make the world known of this fact, Guru.
So in Archan, is there also Guru Gauranga in the beginning stages?
According to one's own capacity and the stage, he will try to see, as in the awakenment of his inner self, he will go on with Archan. Goswami-gan also expressed Vigraha, but our Prabhupada told that cannot be told that Archan Prabhupada, that was bhajan. They are serving. Archan means through mantram. We hope through this purpose one day we shall come to the direct position of service. The medium, Archan means medium, and bhajan means direct service. When there was a question why the Goswamis, they installed three murtis there in Vrindavan. Name was sufficient, they are taking name. And they have encouraged Archanam, which is generally found with the Ramanuja section. Mahaprabhu has not given much stress on Archanam, but Nam Bhajan. And our Guru Maharaj answered, Archan installed for others, recommended, but they themselves engaged themselves in direct service, that is bhajan. Bhajan means direct service, soul to super soul, not through the medium of any mental system, to purify one's own mind. And the liberated souls, when the Sarup-Siddha souls, they are found to go on with Archan, and that should not be considered as Archan mere, but that is bhajan, and direct service. Hare Krishna.